you can't just go up to somebody in that life and say, hey, I'd like to join. Somebody has to propose you, vouch for you, say you have what it takes to be a member. And for me, it was my dad. He proposed me to membership. And, there is a process to becoming a made man or an official member of that life. And you go through a process where you have to prove yourself worthy of becoming a member. And, it could have been, there were guys at the time, Jordan, they had an expression in the life where the books were closed. From the 1950s up until that point in the mid-70s, they weren't officially bringing any more members into that life because it was security reasons. And this was all 5 families in New York kept to that. But then they opened the books again in the 70s. So there were guys actually waiting 20 years to become members of that life. Just, they were just there, 20 years. For me, it was a 2.5-year, 3-year process because, like I said, they had opened the books. So, you have to prove yourself worthy. There's a lot of discipline in that life, a lot of authority, a lot of alleged respect. You had a meeting at 8 o'clock. If you weren't there at 7:30, you were late. You can never be late in that life. And you just had to follow the orders, whatever you were told to do. It's difficult for me to say this, but, I like to be honest about it. That life at times is violent. And if you're part of that life, you're part of the violence. And it took me 2.5 years before I proved myself worthy. And it was actually Halloween night in 1975 when I took an oath and became a sworn made member of the Colombo family.
And what sort of things did you have to do? What sort of things were you called upon to do in order to be deemed worthy of membership?
Well, again, when I first, after my dad proposed me, it was about 2 weeks later when an official in the family, a captain, picked me up and he took me to see the boss. Now, I don't know if you're aware, but Joe Colombo had been shot, seriously wounded at a big rally that we had in Columbus Circle back in 1971. He eventually died from the wounds, and I was about 12 steps away from him when that happened on the stage. It was kind of the first eye-opening experience that I had in that life.